Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about special kinds of parallelograms today. So we're going to start by talking about rectangles, rhombuses, and squares. So I've got your definition up here for each. So definition of a rectangle is a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. Definition of a rhombus, quadrilateral with 4 congruent sides. And then a square is those two basically put together. It has both 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. So here we're going to talk about some different properties of these specific kinds of parallelograms. So if a quadrilateral is a rectangle, it has to be a parallelogram. So the reason is because in a rectangle, with 4 right angles, the opposite pairs are then congruent. Well, remember that's a condition for a parallelogram. If both pairs of opposite angles are congruent, we can say it's a parallelogram. So then, if it's a rectangle, it also has all the properties of a rectangle. Okay, so keep that in mind as we're moving forward. So we'll learn some things about each of these, but they're also going to be part of the parallelogram family. So here's one of the properties of a rectangle. If we have a parallelogram that we know is a rectangle, the diagonals are also congruent. So in this picture, BD is congruent to AC. So that's not for all parallelograms, just for parallelograms that are rectangles. Okay, now let's move into talking about rhombus. So remember, rhombuses have 4 sides that are all the same length. So here's a picture. ABCD is a rhombus. All rhombuses are also parallelograms because of the condition that if opposite pairs of sides are congruent, that's a condition for a parallelogram. So again, rhombuses then have all the properties of parallelograms. But they have some additional ones too. So here's one of them. If a parallelogram is a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular. So again, that's not for all parallelograms, just for ones that are rhombuses. So in my picture, BD is perpendicular to AC, which means that I have right angles all around that intersection. Okay, rhombuses also have another one. The diagonals bisect the opposite angles. So remember that the opposite angles are congruent in a parallelogram, so B is congruent to D. Well, rhombuses break it down even further that the diagonals cut those exactly in half. So 1, 2, 5, and 6 are all exactly the same. Same with the other diagonal. 3 and 4 are exactly the same as 7 and 8. Okay, we're going to use those properties to answer questions here. So this first one is about a rectangular gate. So we're dealing with a rectangle. So let's think about what we know about a rectangle. It's got 4 right angles, it's a parallelogram, and the diagonals are congruent. So they want us to find each length. So the first length they give me, or want me to find, is HJ. Well, since it's a parallelogram, remember parallelograms, opposite sides are congruent, so GK is 48, HJ is also 48 because properties of parallelograms apply to any rectangle. Now we're going to talk about the diagonal. They want me to find HK, and I'm given that JL is 30.8. So remember, diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So if this is 30.8, this is also 30.8. So the whole thing, JG, all I have to do is add 30.8 plus another 30.8, and I get 61.6. So if JG is 61.6, and this is a rectangle, HK is congruent to JG. So HK would also be 61.6 inches. And I guess the 48's in inches as well. Okay, so we're both applying properties of parallelograms as well as our new ones for our special parallelograms. Okay, let's look at this problem. Now we're dealing with a rhombus. So remember, all rhombuses are parallelograms. They have 4 congruent sides and their diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, well, if all the sides are the same, that means that 5a has to equal 3a plus 17. So I can subtract 3a, and I get 2a equals 17. Divide by 2, half of 17 is 8.5. So if I plug this back in, 5 times 8.5, so I multiply 5 times 8.5, we get 42.5. So that was CD, but remember all the sides are the same. So if CG is 42.5, so is CD. Okay, lastly we have a square. Now a square, remember, is both a rhombus and a rectangle combined, so it has all those properties in one. So we're going to have a quadrilateral. They're giving me 3 of the coordinates and they want me to find the 4th. So we've got T is at 0, 2, V is at 6, negative 3, and W is at 1, negative 9. Okay, so I've got W, V, and T. So remember, a square has 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. So in this side, it's also a parallelogram, so it's going to have the same slopes. So if to go from V to T, I had to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could go over 5 and up 6 here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I feel like I went too many. Sorry. Let me check that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I switched those. All right, here we go. So by doing the same slope, I was also going the same distance away, so we were making sure those sides are the same length. And if I check this side and this side, that slope should be the same as well now. So that point where I put it is my S. So my S has coordinates negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 5, negative 4 to make it a square. So my opposite sides have to have the same slope. All right, guys, thanks for watching.